Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Republicans propose a replacement for Obamacare. Also tonight, ASU's president talks about his vision for the university's future, and we'll meet renowned opera tenor Fernando Varela. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Republicans today released a plan to formally repeal the Affordable Care Act and replace it with a different health care plan. Here now to help explain what the new plan calls for is Swapna Reddy, a professor at ASU's School for the Science of Healthcare Delivery, College of Health Solutions. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Is this a big change? Is it Obamacare light? I'm hearing people saying both.
Well, it's a little bit of both, and it kind of depends on the population that you're speaking about. It's the American Health Care Act, AHCA. Sounds a lot like the ACA. And, you know, in many ways, it's not that much of a repeal of the Affordable Care Act. In fact, the Affordable Care Act has 10 titles, and all but 3 have been left untouched virtually. What it is a really big change for is our Medicaid program and programs that affect very low-income individuals.
And I want to get to that in just a second because, boy, that's a big deal here in Arizona. But again, it can stay on parents until 26, can't deny coverage to pre-existing conditions. Those things hold over from Obamacare, correct?
They do. They're popular provisions, and most Americans like them, and they didn't want them repealed, and so the AHCA has kept them in.
Now, Medicaid. Because Medicaid expansion in Arizona, it was a big fight. We got it done, at least the state got it done. Yeah. Does it matter anymore? How are we affected by this?
Well, we have around 400,000 people in Arizona that have gained Medicaid coverage through the expansion. So we certainly have a high need for it here in Arizona. Now, according to this new AHCA bill, we would really be changing our national Medicaid system from one that's an entitlement program to really one that's more of a per capita program. So it drastically shifts the way that we look at Medicaid, and it drastically shifts the safety net.
So we don't get that blanket sum anymore. We get money as per how many enrollees?
Yes, and yes, per enrollees, and doesn't necessarily cover everybody that's currently covered in Medicaid anymore either. The other thing that's important to know from the expansion piece is in 2020, states will not continue to expand their Medicaid program. Folks that are already on Medicaid through the expansion, through their state expansion can continue on if they continue to be eligible.
But 2020 is the dividing line, and a growing state like Arizona, more people are going to be coming here. No chance of them getting the federal assistance as far as Medicaid is concerned.
There's a major rollback in federal assistance for the Medicaid program.
What does that mean for the state? I mean, what is the state going to do? What are the options?
Well, it's a great question. We're still figuring it out as we're learning more about the bill. One thing that's really important to know about the bill is the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, is in charge of rating bills. And so we don't really have a definitive answer on how many people are going to lose coverage or gain coverage from this proposal, or frankly, if it's a savings or if it's going to cost the country money. So we're still waiting to hear from the CBO, although the House is planning on starting to mark up the bills tomorrow. In the meantime, with Arizona, you know, there's also $100 million that the bill has planned to give out to states to be able to use as they choose to cover high-need populations or cover kind of gaps in care. It's really up to the states how they use that. So we'll hopefully learn a little bit more about that.
Well, with that block funding and the per capita funding together, could that handle Access, what Access does now?
It's hard to say because we don't know how the per capita funding is actually calculated. So it really depends because we have a particularly high need population here in Arizona. We had lots of uninsured people in Arizona before the ACA, so tons jumped on the rolls that needed care and they were high utilizers of care. So until we have a better sense of how it's going to be calculated and how much money we would actually receive and how we can actually use those funds, it's really hard to say if we'll be at a deficit or it would be a boon for Arizona.
No more tax increases on the wealthy with the new plan?
No, in fact, the wealthy are actually going to fare quite well. In terms of tax credits, it's not particularly generous to low-income individuals and probably will make marketplace affordability much more of a challenge for low-income individuals. Pretty fair to middle-income Americans and definitely quite generous to higher-income Americans.
And we should also note no more mandatory insurance, which was a biggie for the Republican Party. If there's no more mandatory insurance, how does this thing work?
Good question. But yes, the ACA mandate was something that was fairly unpopular with the American public, and it was something that President Trump ran heavily on repealing for the ACA. So there will no longer, according to the AHCA, will no longer be a mandate. But in order to hopefully stabilize the insurance market, the AHCA has proposed continuous coverage as a provision. So basically, if individuals do not maintain coverage for about a 2-month period, they'll see a 30% increase in their premiums.
The incentive is to stay in. Get in and stay in, and don't be jumping around.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we will hear much more about this, but a good overview. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
And you're watching Arizona Horizon. Next, we speak with ASU President Michael Crow about his vision for the university's future.
From the beginning, then.
From the sky to the sea, to the air that we breathe, from the depths of the earth to the stars.
Now step off the limb.
Follow me, Nature Cat!
I can't believe it.
And everything in between. Sing out your battle cry. United we feel inside. The world is ours. The world is
Arizona State University has a plan for improving the school under the new American University Charter. But what is this charter and what does it mean for the university's future? Here with the answers is ASU President Michael Crow. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Ted.
New American University Charter. What are we talking about here?
So in the last 15 years, we've morphed ASU into a national prototype for a new kind of American university, one that's deeply committed to accessibility while at the same time operating at the highest level of academic performance. We call that inclusion versus exclusion. An institution that's really focused on research to benefit the public and the success of our country. And lastly, a university focused on the success and the taking responsibility for the outcome of our community overall. So that's what our charter is.
Okay, let's start with the inclusion as opposed to exclusion. For years, colleges have made you try to get in there. And if you couldn't get into a university or a college, that exclusivity meant that's some tough place to go. That must be a good place. You're saying that's a failed model?
It's not a failed model. It's a model that public universities, research universities have run away now and only admit students with A averages. Well, it takes a B average to get into college and to do well in college. That's where they started. That's where we are. So we've maintained the historic inclusion model of a lot of public universities that moved away from that. We've maintained that as the country has grown.
The idea, though, of increasing enrollment with states, Arizona in particular, decreasing its commitment to funding. Talk about that dynamic.
So we think that what's happened over time is that we haven't done a good enough job of designing a public enterprise university, one that's adaptive, responsive, engaged, scalable, all those things. Funding went down during the recession. We're making a better case for additional investment now. We're a stronger, better investment now. Our return on our investment is higher. And so we think that we're now making a better case for public investment.
And I know one of the goals is to enhance the quality of education while reducing the cost of the degree. Again, can that be done in the current climate?
So we've lowered the cost to the state to produce a degree by 75%. We've lowered our overall cost to produce degrees. We've enhanced quality. We've enhanced graduation rates. We've enhanced the employability of our students, the market value of our students. We've enhanced the outcome of the institution from a discovery and from an academic productivity perspective. All those things now have been enhancements through our new model.
You've talked about a fundamental responsibility the university has to the community. Explain that, please.
So if the community is desirous of economic opportunity, economic competitiveness, if they're desirous of enhanced educational outcomes, if they're desirous of a good quality of life, sound environment, clean water, clean air, those kinds of things, community health, we need to take responsibility for those outcomes, not just be analytical observers. We need to be engaged in tackling those problems with everything that we've got. So that means we take responsibility for those outcomes. And so we've launched charter schools to demonstrate that every student can graduate from every family background. We've launched research projects that are altering the trajectory of this region from an economic perspective. And so all those things now are a part of how we view our responsibility.
What about undergraduate education and instruction? Because again, critics will say this research and all this community involvement and responsibility is great, but undergraduate instruction should be priority one at a university.
It is priority one. We've increased our four-year graduation rate by over 85% in recent time. We've greatly enhanced the number of degrees, the quality of the degrees, the impact of the degrees on the students in terms of their later employability, their later life outcomes. And so we're seeing tremendous returns through our focus on undergraduate education.
We've talked about this before, that some folks in the legislature say this business of being a research university and graduate level instruction and all this kind of business, it's not what the school should be, what the university should be. They want to see reading, writing, arithmetic on an upper level. They don't want to see research. Why should they see? Why is research so important?
So since the end of World War II, about 3/4 of economic growth has been driven by technological advance in the American economy. Since about 1990, a huge percentage of that technological advance is now driven by science. And so what's happened is that the nature of the economy has shifted from those old 3R days. It used to be reading, writing, and arithmetic was what you needed to know. You still need to know all those things and a lot of other things. And so the only way to do that is to build a university around the idea of knowledge creation, knowledge storage, knowledge synthesis, knowledge transfer, all of those things. And so that's what we've built. So now we have a university competing with the greatest universities in the world, but being accessible to everyone, qualified to attend. And that's the unique Arizona way that we're advancing this. You will not be able to have an economy that's as effective in the future as one would like unless you have the kinds of people that are capable of producing knowledge-driven enterprises being among your graduates.
You've talked about how if you're not advancing, if you're not progressing, if you're standing still, you're losing in this around the world, not just the country, but around the world. Is Arizona State University in particular, but is the state in general, are we moving? Are we going forward?
We're moving. We've had huge success in Arizona. This is one of the most fantastic places in the world to be, to live, to build a business, to move a family forward. All those things are intact here. But what we've hit a step function where our ability to compete with others relative to economic competitiveness needs to be enhanced. And it needs to be enhanced by producing higher levels of educational attainment, more discovery-oriented and knowledge-oriented enterprises to augment everything else. And so what we need is a broader economy rather than a narrow and more focused economy, and that's what we're attempting to build out right now.
And real quickly, how are you building that out?
We're building that out by laying the foundation for future industries, future businesses, but most importantly, we're laying that out by producing people capable of adjusting to any economic change that they encounter. How do you then drive an economy? You drive an economy by having people in that economy who are highly adaptable to change. That's what we're producing.
So basically, and it's not just a narrow focus, it's the well-rounded education.
It's not just well-rounded, it's producing what we call a master learner. You learn one thing that enables you then to learn 10 things, that enables you to adjust to 15 changes, and then those things prepare you to be a leader in economic advance.
All right, ambitious stuff. Good luck with the new American University. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Opera tenor Fernando Varela has performed around the world in staged operas as a member of the classical crossover group Forte Tenors and as a solo artist.
Tu pura principessa nella tua fredda stanza guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza.
That is Fernando Varela, Coming Home, which airs tonight at 7 o'clock right here on Arizona PBS. Joining us now is Fernando Varela. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you here. It's fantastic. My goodness, an operas, but you've worked with Lionel Richie, the Beach Boys. I mean, you've worked with pop groups as well. How does that happen?
So I'm kind of the black sheep of classical music. I write a lot of my own songs. Of course, you heard Nessun Dorma, which is just a glorious song. I think it's one of the greatest melodies ever written. Definitely one of the greatest tenor arias ever written, for sure. I was mentored by David Foster. I toured with David Foster all over the world I was just with him last weekend, in fact. And so I have a new album coming out and a PBS television special, my debut special, which airs tonight.
Yes.
And that's why I'm here in Phoenix, and I'm so excited to share with everyone.
How did you're an opera singer, but you know about pop, and usually when people have pretty good voices, they think, okay, it's off to rock and roll or pop or R&B or the whole 9 yards. Opera. How did you get into it?
Well, I got into it just like most men get into the worst situations in their life. I was chasing after a girl, and next thing I know, I find myself in the opera chorus. The director was so desperate for men. I never sang in my life. And he said, I just need bodies in the chorus, so learn the words, I'll teach you how to sing later. And that's kind of what started this crazy journey that's taken me all over the world.
Until then, I mean, didn't you ever sing in the shower or sing in the car and go, hey, my voice isn't so bad?
I sang in the shower, but I just like most kids sing in the shower. I mean, I loved like the Jackson 5 and I loved a lot of pop music, but I never thought I'd be doing this for a living, not in a million years.
So when was the first time you realized, I got a pretty good voice here?
I was doing a master class with Licia Albanese. She's a legendary Met soprano. She passed away at the age of 104. And when I was working with her, she was in her 80s. But she was this spry little Italian, just fiery soprano. And I was 22 years old at the time, and I actually had a career in finance, and I was just kind of doing music on the side. I was dating this girl now, and she could sense that I just kind of had like one foot in, one foot out. Mm-hmm. And in front of everybody at this master class, she said to me, I sang with Pavarotti when he was 22 years old, your age. You are better than he was at his age. You need to take this more seriously. And I was like, what?
Boy, no kidding.
So I think from that moment forward, I kind of said, okay, I better actually start, taking this seriously. And thinking of it as a career.
And things have taken off from there.
Things took off.
I mean, and again, it's a career that is not just opera. I mean, you do a lot of pop music.
Yeah.
Talk about the difference between the two.
Well, I grew up in such a musical household. I mean, I was born in Puerto Rico, and we moved to Florida when I was 8 years old, and I grew up in Orlando. But my parents always had tons of different kinds of music playing in our house, and so I was exposed to lots of different genres. And I grew to have a love for them all. So as an artist, it was kind of natural when, I like to kind of dabble in different styles. And I have a passion for languages. I lived in Italy for a couple years. I speak Italian fluently and speak Spanish as my first language. And so I just kind of had this love of learning languages and music. And I try to, try to present them as authentic as possible. I don't want to sound like an opera singer singing a pop song.
I was going to ask that. How do you keep the pop folks from saying he's just an opera guy, he's over here, he's a dilettante over here? How do you keep the opera folks from saying he's too casual for us, he's not serious enough?
Well, my shows, I try to have something for everybody. I try to make it a variety show, and I think, as a classical artist, I think we have a responsibility to make sure that classical music reaches this next generation. And the way that I'm doing that is by trying to make it a little more accessible. So I try to do some pop songs. You know, we have a classical repertoire here, we have our pop repertoire here, and then we kind of do this, and we have, you know, different variations of the fusion. And it's really worked. I've done a lot in Europe, and you see a lot of, you know, teenagers and kids that they're like, oh, he's not just some stuffy opera singer. He, you know, he gets us. And so they get into the music, and even, you know, even some of our friends that have teenagers here in the States, they start hearing that some classical sounds, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, that's cool, that's passionate. I can relate to that. And I think that's, you know, the greatest responsibility we have as you know, artists in the classical space is to try to figure out a way to get young people more involved.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time when we have the fine arts folks on the program. It's like, how do you keep the young folks interested? Well, again, 7 p.m. tonight, you're going to be here at the station all night long.
I am,
huh?
yeah.
Well, good
Call in. I'll be happy to talk to you.
All right.
We'll do some special giveaways, whatever it takes.
Maybe
right?
duet on the phone. It's good to meet you. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Wednesday on Arizona Horizon, get an update on what's happening at the state capitol from legislative leaders, and we'll hear about a new report on workplace harassment. That's at 5:30 on Wednesdays, Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Arizona Horizon here on Arizona PBS. I'm Alice Ferris. You know, when you watch programs like Arizona Horizon, you know you're going